Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to day 2 of the DC Blockchain Summit. We're delighted that you could all make it out here in these wonderful icy temperatures and windy conditions. It's not normally like this time of year, but anyway, but weather in DC, they said if you don't like it, just wait 10 minutes, it does change. My name is John Jacobs, and I'm the Executive Director of the Center for Financial Markets and Policy, and we're delighted to partner with the Chamber on this event and host this event. It's our second year, and we couldn't be more excited. We think this is exactly the kind of thing that our center at Georgetown should do. We're delighted with Matt and Perry Ann have been great partners, and we actually truly believe in this mission, as you'll see with some of the tangible things we're going to talk about in just a moment. At our center, our goal is to offer innovative and influential thought leadership, foster discussion on critical policy and market issues related to responsible global financial markets. So that's our mission, okay? And it takes a lot of hard work to do that. We're one of several centers here in the business school, the McDonough School of Business here at Georgetown. But before I go on, I wanted to point out one person who actually makes all this happen for us at the center. Jessica, if you could just stand up real quick and turn around. So this is Jessica Dibfest. She is the Assistant Director at the center. And so I joined the center last year after a 30-year career on Wall Street. And I came to an understanding right away with Jessica. I said, Jessica, we'll do this together. We'll split all the work. We'll share everything. And so we've come to an arrangement where Jessica does all the work and I take all the credit. So that's an arrangement we have. And I mean that absolutely sincerely. Jessica is a machine at getting these things done. And so all the events and everything we do at the center, whether it's the research or whether it's getting the events that we do like this one, she's the one who makes everything happen. And so I want to make sure that we did recognize her efforts. So what do we do here? So we like to host dialogues like we're having here. We like to host events and conferences. We like to bring leading scholars and practitioners, policymakers into a forum where we can have a nonpartisan discussion. We are in Washington, D.C., and we use that to our advantage to get people from both sides of the aisle and to come in here and talk. And so we try to make these things agenda-free, where people can come in and have a conversation. And our also goal is to engage students who are interested in finance. We have a great heritage here at Georgetown University. We use it whenever we can. It's a global brand and a global institution, but it's also perfect to be here in Washington, D.C. We do also do our programs in places, our center alone, in everywhere from London to Dubai to Asia as well, and things like that. So we do have a global reach with our center. We involve, as you saw yesterday with one of the speakers, but we've done everything from work with the White House to Capitol Hill, the SEC, CFTC, HHS, and the list goes on and on and on of government acronyms here and certainly abroad as well. So going back, one of our most valuable assets we have here at Georgetown is the student population, the student body. I've taught here in the past in the MBA program, and I'll probably be teaching in the future. Perry and I are looking at doing something in the undergraduate space coming up here in the future. And the first thing I always see whenever I teach a class at Georgetown or meet a new student is, I'll probably be working for that kid in 2 years, but that's another story. But we do have a special program we do here, especially through our center. We find critical issues. We put a student team together. They're the ones who are going to dive in, do the analytics, do the research. We provide them an advisory board and a faculty mentor. And we say, go at it, come back, and do the research. So we like this student-driven research for students who are engaged and really into a topic. And again, they have the resource of the university to draw upon, and they get that discipline coming from the faculty and from their board of advisors. But it is student-driven, and that's what we want to do here with our engaged students. So to that end, we are going to hear about the latest white paper that's going to be introduced here today. It is The Blockchain and Financial Inclusion, the role of blockchain technology can play in the accelerating financial inclusion. And I'm going to introduce one of the students on the team who's going to talk about that paper. So I would like to introduce Charles Gallo, one of our MBA students here at the McDonough School of Business. So please welcome Charles to the podium.
Thank you very much, John. I would really like to thank the Georgetown Center for Financial Markets and Policy and the Chamber of Digital Commerce for co-sponsoring this paper and giving us the opportunity to explore such an important topic. I'm also honored to be presenting this to such an esteemed and distinguished audience. Financial inclusion refers to the delivery of affordable and usable financial access for unbanked and underbanked people. There are approximately 2 billion individuals who lack financial access, and an additional 1.5 billion who are underserved by the financial services industry. When you put these two together, you come with 3.5 billion people worldwide, nearly half the world's population. Financial inclusion is important because it is positively correlated with economic growth and enables the poor to improve their lives and build sustainable futures. Our study primarily focuses on cross-border and internal payments. The aim was to develop key insights for financial institutions and regulators. We looked at a comparison of regulatory approaches to blockchain, case studies of financial institutions using blockchain for cross-border and internal payments, conducted multiple first-person interviews with relevant industry stakeholders. We did extensive secondary research and looked primarily at 3 markets: India, Kenya, and the Philippines. When we compared the process for sending cross-border and internal payments via blockchain to the conventional payment rails, we found that the upfront process had both a KYC and an AML checks and screenings. And companies using a blockchain had as stringent, if not more stringent, processes than the conventional players. When we got to transferring of the funds, by transferring the funds in near real time compared to taking a couple of days from the conventional payments, this reduced the settlement risk. So if we had the same upfront AML and KYC risk and a reduced settlement risk, we deduced that therefore there could be an overall reduction in risk. Some of the markets there were lower costs for the companies that were using blockchain compared to the conventional players. This was not the case in every single market, but there still is the possibility of a reduction in costs. We also found that the interoperability of blockchain allowed entrepreneurs to do what they do best and solve problems. Using a blockchain instead of a centralized payment system allowed them to adapt their offerings to what their customers wanted. This did not come with challenges, and regulators differed in their approach to blockchain technology. This creates a complex environment for financial institutions using blockchain to provide services. Each market had different risks and benefits, and so it is difficult to have universal standards. The regulators that engaged with companies using blockchain had a better understanding of the technology and the risks involved. They were able to shape the innovation and provide effective regulatory policies. So in summary, using blockchain for internal and cross-border payments can lower the costs, shorter settlement time, and provide better user experience. Consumers are voting with their wallets, and payment volume using a blockchain is growing at a rapid rate. From our research, monthly transfers using Bitcoin grew from 6 million per month to 46 million per month in 2016. This is not something that regulators can ignore. So blockchain can play a significant role in accelerating financial inclusion and thus empowering and transforming the lives of billions. Blockchain is not the only answer, but an important part of the solution. Thank you.